Democrats do is tell lies. All they want is power. Just like Kamala Harris and Joe Biden had power, they did nothing from the American people. What did they spend their time doing? Trying to go after Donald Trump. Remember all them videos I did of Donald Trump is up in court? You had the Letitia James, the Jack Smith. You had all of these people going after President Trump. That's all they want to do. They want nothing to do with the American people. And by the way, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and shout out to everybody who's been watching the entire video. By the way, let me know in the comment section that you did stay to the end of this video, because it definitely helps me out, and I appreciate all of you. But like I said, though, this is what they do. They just want to go after Donald Trump. They ain't going to do nothing for the American people. They never do nothing for the American people, because we seen what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris did. They just spent half of their time calling Donald Trump Hitler and trying to put him in jail, had him in courts, and all of that. That's all they want to do.
That decides whether you have access. All of the things that disproportionately harm communities of color will now be decided by people who disproportionately dislike and vote against the needs of people of color. But what we have to remember, and this is why I started the 10 Steps campaign, this is a national fight. It may start in the South, but it has national implications. Progress that serves the most disproportionately harmed communities lifts everyone. But if we do not do so, if we allow the suppression of black and brown votes, we are harming their neighbors and we're harming the U.S. And that's why we cannot allow the South to be left behind. We need national intervention because they are starting in the South. But this is a national attempt to misuse democratic institutions to suppress all of the communities who fight for democracy in this country.
Oh my God. And then you listen to another thief, Stacey Abrams. Don't you know all these Democrats be the one who done stole money, stole a lot of taxpayer dollars? All of them are thieves. That's what it is. So let's get to this one, because this is the main one I want to show y'all right here. So look at this by Colin Rugg. He said Chicago woman mocks Democrats by speaking in a squeaky, high-pitched voice who say black people's voting rights are in danger. Because if you listen to the Democrats and you listen to Stacey Abrams, this is what they saying. I want y'all to check out what this woman right here had to say about all of this.
The reality is this. People's voting is not in danger, and you know it's not. And you know it's not. I'm 63 years old. I've been voting since I was 18. I have never had a problem voting. Now that may apply to my mother and father. It applies to my grandparents. Surely it does. And in fact, because it does, every single person in this room, including that Jewish lady that just got up and talked, need to really be thanking us. Really need to be thanking us for getting y'all the right to vote. For getting y'all the right to be here, instead of sitting up here manipulating the Voting Rights Act like something's getting ready to happen to our right to vote, when you know that's not true. So now you all gonna drag black people in here, definitely some senior citizens, and gonna have them come up here and talk about how they scared to vote. How this messed up their right to vote. Women need to vote. All that junk, when you know it's not true. Just like you sit up here and make like black people can't get IDs. Us requiring IDs to vote, it's gonna stop black people from voting. Why black people ain't got IDs? See, you all get more and more ridiculous. But you can't, in this room, full of these black people, talk about that federal case that just got filed Monday, that's talking about how you all are stealing property at Cook County sales. Where the black people in here? Raise your hand that if they told you to come in here to talk about how your property got stolen. Where you at? Huh? Because we got commissioners in here that know for a fact it's happening. Catskill, you know it's happening. Lori, you know it's happening. Michael Scott, you know it's happening. Lamont Williams, come on, you give up cases for the county. You know it's happening. Donna Miller, you know what's happening. Well, come on, y'all black people that they done sent here with these 501c3s, that they got y'all in here talking for them. Why y'all ain't in here talking about how they stealing our property?
1 minute.
Where y'all at? Come on, because y'all getting ready to come up here to this mic and lie for the cameras to say that black people's voting is done by this Louisiana thing.
So she's already exposing what they got the black people in there for. So we're going to pay y'all just to go in there and say that our voting is in danger. You know, just all of this stuff right here. This is what they're doing, and this woman is exposing. She pretty much already saying, I already know why y'all here. Y'all finna come up here. They probably paid y'all to come up here and tell a lie. And now, and like I said, Democrats is ramping up the rhetoric now because they're getting closer and closer. Because like I said, they want to cheat.
Come on, because y'all getting ready to come up here to this mic and lie for the cameras to say that black people's voting is done by this Louisiana thing and Donald Trump and the Trump administration, when Donald Trump is in front of the Supreme Court right now fighting for the 14th Amendment, saying that black people, that amendment was for black people.
30 seconds.
Not for birthrights, not for people to anchor themselves over here illegally. And they got y'all black people in here getting ready to talk against him. I mean, y'all real sick up in the head. You're sick in the head and more sicker in your spirit. This is insane.
Time has expired for the speaker. Next
Y'all
speaker,
crazy.
Taiwan Sim.
So y'all see what she just said. So she definitely telling the truth that now they got them in there to tell lies about the vote. Cause like I said, you see what AOC, you see what Stacey Abrams, you see what all of these people are saying right now. And then you got old Newsom. Oh, look at him. He ready to get up there and just tell a lie, try to brainwash the people. Who gonna this guy is a failure. Gavin Newsom is a failure. Who's going to listen to anything he got to say? So he want to talk about the racist attack on black voters. Let's check out this.
Stone cold racism at a scale I never thought I'd see in my lifetime. Never have seen in my lifetime. It's all happening. Bringing us back to a pre-1960s world. It's jaw-dropping what's happening. It was jaw-dropping what Governor Landry did. He suspended a primary election where tens of thousands of people had already voted. Why? To redistrict 2 districts to eliminate black representation. I can't believe that we're experiencing this. My parents talked to me about this. I said, well, thank God it's not going to happen on my lifetime. And it's happening in real time. Anti-woke is anti-black. All these attacks on DEI, it's anti-black. Level of racism is sick. Rewriting history, censoring historical fact. Number of
Every time President Trump put a stop to they cheating, what do? They bring race into it. Oh, Donald Trump trying to do this to Indian people. Donald Trump trying to do this to black people. Donald Trump trying to do this to Mexicans. This is what they do. Because they trying to rally up people to go against President Trump. That's what they're trying to do. And you got this.
African Americans sick. It's happening in the United States of America in the open, and it needs to be called out. So forgive me for reacting this way, and I feel a deep responsibility to do something about this, and nothing to do with me as governor, just as a human being. This is not why our founding fathers lived and died. It was about the expansion of liberty, expansion of freedom, including more and more people. And we're seeing exactly the opposite take shape under this administration.
Oh, shut up. Ain't nobody listening to nothing you got to say. And let's check this out right here. John Ziegler said it is never going to be needed, but Gavin Newsom said that if 2 Republicans somehow make the final 2 in the governor's race, that he has an emergency break glass plans for that scenario. Think about this. Think about if President Trump said something like that. Think about if President Trump just said something like that. If there was 2 Democrats, I got an emergency break glass plan for that scenario. Oh, it will be all over CNN. It will be everywhere on the legacy media. And then look at this. Even John said it. If Trump said this about the 2028 President of the United States election, the news media will be in a total meltdown. And let's listen to Gavin Newsom say this.
But you've spoken about accountability. Do you think Democrats will hold you accountable for standing by this principle of neutrality by withholding your endorsement in this non-possible scenario where 2 Republicans take the ticket?
Yeah, look, my focus has been making sure that doesn't happen, and I've exercised not just a focus, but I've exercised through some action efforts to encourage that doesn't happen by making my case, and will continue to make my case. I do not see that scenario taking place. I've said this before, so I'll repeat it. I don't anticipate this need to be the case, but there is a break the glass scenario, and there's many people that have a deep understanding of what it would look like if the Democrats were locked out, and we're going to do everything to make sure that doesn't happen. I'll leave it at that.
Wow. Listen to him say that, and like I said, let President Trump would have said that, but you know, CNN, ABC, CBS, they ain't gonna talk about this. They ain't gonna say, oh, I can't believe what Gavin Newsom just said. But if it was President Trump, boy, it would be everywhere. But this right here is one of the reasons why the Democrats is continuing to melt down the way they are. Like I said, they want to cheat. They want their racist gerrymandered maps because they want to try to beat the Republicans by cheating. And I'm going to keep on mentioning that to let everybody know that's exactly what they're trying to do.
Today I wanted to take a look at some long-term population trends that really should set off a flashing red siren to Democrats nationwide while bringing a big smile to the faces of Republicans nationwide. Why do I say that? Because take a look at the big population gainers versus the last census back in 2020. According to the latest population estimates that take into account the population mid-2025, look at this. The biggest population growth this decade? All 5 of the states that Donald John Trump won in 2024. Texas, Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, and of course the great state of Arizona, where I spent my New Year's Eve. I love those folks out in Prescott, Arizona. These were the biggest gainers. The biggest gainers in terms of population compared to the 2020 census. Now, it's not just a red state boom. This is what we're looking at. We're looking at a red state boom here. But it is not just a red state boom. We're also looking at what I would dare call a blue state depression. Because who are the people? Who and where are the people moving from into the red states? Well, they're blue states. They're blue states. Take a look here. The lowest domestic net migration this decade. All 5 of the states that were won by Kamala Harris in 2024. Look at this. California, Harris's home state. New York, where I'm coming from right now, of course. Illinois, New Jersey, and of course the great Commonwealth of Massachusetts, which is a bastion of blue liberalism. These are the states that folks in the United States are moving away from and into the red states, which is propelling a red state boom. Now, this is interesting, right? But it could also have major political ramifications if it holds for 2030, the next census. Because take a look here. If, in fact, the 2025 population shifts hold for the 2030 census, look at this. Look at the House seat shifts by state. Remember, of course, we apportion the number of House seats depending on the population in each state. If, in fact, the 2025 population shifts hold for 2030, states that Kamala Harris won, they would lose 7 seats in the United States House of Representatives. The states that Donald Trump won in 2024, they would gain 7 seats. Now, this isn't just about the House of Representatives, right? It's also about the Electoral College, because the number of electoral votes that each state gets is equal to the number of senators. Each state, of course, has 2, plus the number of House seats that they have. So what would this mean for the House of Representatives? Well, if you remember back in 2024, right, it was all about, we were talking about the blue wall. If Kamala Harris could win the baseline Democratic states and then add in the blue wall states of...
So there we go right there. And like I said, y'all see the reason why these Democrats is panicking. Y'all seen the yelling at the beginning of the video. You seen Stacey Abrams. You see all of these people, they are lashing out because President Trump is wiping out all of their seats. And then that's what he's doing. He's wiping out all of it. He putting a stop to this cheating. If you want to win, you're going to do it fair and square. But Democrats don't want that. They want to boo-hoo, and then they want to cry about, these seats and stuff like that because they want to cheat, and President Trump is not allowing it to happen. So like I said, y'all get in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think about this. I will keep y'all up to date as more information comes out. And like I said, make sure you get in the comment section. Let me know that you did stay to the end of this video. I really, really appreciate it. And like I said, I definitely got more of this right here coming.